Hello, I'm Mike Strand, and I'll be reading from the Fall 2020 edition of Mind Matters from the Brain Injury Alliance of Minnesota. Recently, I read a piece by Anne Frank, the young diarist who died in the Holocaust, and this piece was on finding happiness, and it inspired me to think about finding happiness in brain injury. One of the trite sayings that people like to trot out whenever you're sharing your woes is that other people have it worse than you. As if that is supposed to help somehow. Either that, or they're trying to make you feel guilty for complaining. Like the only person who has a right to complain is the person who has it worse than anybody else, ever. The main problem with this is that it assumes joy is dependent on external sources. There are plenty of times when there's no reason to be joyful. At least, nothing you can reach out and touch. Yet, there are those who manage to be happy despite their situation. How can that be? Anne's words are quite clear. In those dark periods, one should think about all the beauty that remains. Her advice was to go outside and to try to recapture the happiness that is within oneself. One cannot obsess on all the suffering and misery. To be happy is to regain your balance. Great misery and great joy are not sustainable states. One must constantly work at them. Simple happiness is a balanced state. Most importantly, it comes from within. This is why clinical depression, so different from merely being in a bad mood, is so intractable. The very chemistry of happiness is missing. Words offer no balm, and the only solution is chemical. When I became clinically depressed after my accident, I needed antidepressants to find my balance. All my usual inner thoughts and words had no currency. The despondency and despair remained. I don't like taking drugs. Who does? So I followed my doctor's orders and took the prescribed dosages, exactly as required, until she weaned me off of them a year later. That was the best way to take as few as possible till I was able to make my way on my own. If I focus on how bad others have it, I am focusing on and becoming part of the misery of the world. Seeing what is wrong is great if I can fix it, but what about everything else? It is a false mark of wisdom to spot all the wrongs and all the evil in the world. Such things are obvious. The trick is to see the world with wonder, like a child. If I focus on happiness, I will make others happy. Such joy is sustaining. What appeals to me about this is that it takes me out of the realm of victimhood, where things beyond my control are creating my misery. I like empowering myself to create my surroundings. In this sense, I'm not talking about physical realities. I'm talking about how I react to them. Beauty makes happiness. I must find the beauty. This takes courage and faith. I must look for it and know it is there.